town of Lithgow in New South Wales has been a thriving regional hub, relying on coal to power its economy. But since environmentalists successfully overturned approval for an expansion of the Springvale coal mine, the town's future is under a cloud. The community says uncertainty over jobs is crushing the mental health of young men and contributed to a recent spike in suicides. Ruby Jones reports.
It's a town of coal miners and footy players. Lithgow men find it easy to have a laugh, but hard to talk about their feelings. These best mates are missing two of their own.
Our friend Nathan died, was at the start of February, and the other young man, Jeremy, was actually at that funeral as well. And then a week or 2 weeks later, he took his own life as well.
There was no indication, there was no signs, if you like, because there's a lot of people will say, if you just look for the signs. There were none.
Nathan Boundy was a talented footy player, a dad, and the life of the party. He'd been looking for work in Lithgow for more than a year.
I think he struggled with mental health. I had told him many a time to go and see a doctor about getting some tablets.
There you go.
That was his 30th.
He couldn't get the help he needed.
I don't think there's enough support in town. I don't think there's enough support in a lot of places.
In February, he took his own life, leaving his sister and mother reeling.
It hurts. It was a shock. We knew he was doing it hard, but he used to always say the same thing, he'd be right. But he wasn't right.
Night time it's when you miss him. And I never used to see him much, but night time's the hardest. Yeah. You think about him and what he'd be doing.
It's difficult to get reliable statistics on how many people have taken their own lives in this town. So Deputy Mayor Wayne McAndrew has taken it upon himself to find out how big the problem is.
Families are not keen to have it be made public in any way, shape or form that their loved ones have taken their life. So it's a really difficult issue to drill down. I've had to talk to police, I've had to talk to the ambulance service, I've had to talk to the local funeral directors.
He says in the last 18 months, at least 9 people took their own lives. A frightening figure for a town of 21,000.
We're losing too many good people. They're all people, they're people with families. It's as bad as anything that has the potential to take life, disease or the other. So it's a real issue. Yeah, I'm majorly concerned, and we have to work out why it is, and we've got to work out ways that we can at least try and lessen it or stop it.
Lithgow has a great deal more evidence of self-harm than other places. Self-harm is probably running at twice that of the national average according to the statistics that we have. And I think that is a marker of the level of distress amongst both young men and young women in Lithgow.
Unemployment in Lithgow is at 8.4%, nearly 3% higher than the national rate.
We've seen the closure of a mine recently, we've seen the closure of a power station a couple of years ago. We've now got a cloud over one of our mines in relation to the planning process in New South Wales.
The future of Springvale coal mine is hanging in the balance. Its planned expansion was stopped, with environmentalists arguing it could contaminate Sydney's water supply. The New South Wales government has now intervened and is trying to keep the mine running. The uncertainty has made locals fear for their jobs.
When I worked in the industry, we had 10 operating coal mines in and around our area and two power stations, and we had, buoyant robust employment within our community. We don't have that anymore, and it is, as I said, one of the issues that lead people to mental health issue, mental breakdowns, the lack of work opportunity, and the like. It's all linked. I don't say it's a single link, but I say it is all linked.
Jeremy Fittler was one of the mine's 300 workers. He was a local sporting hero from a prominent Indigenous family.
I think he's been probably the best man for probably 10 different people, different weddings, so that's the kind of person he was. Always the funny, happy one, but with his problems, yeah, he didn't really tell too much.
His death in February shocked friends and family.
I don't really want anyone else's families to go through what we're going through. I know it happens everywhere else, and yeah, but I know our personal feelings, it's absolutely shattered us, so probably never be able to get over it. But I know it's got to get easier. But as long as everyone can get out there and just talk to somebody, especially Indigenous people as well, that's way worse than the Indigenous community. They need to talk to people and just get help wherever they can.
Lithgow wants help. The local council has made a submission to the New South Wales inquiry into youth suicide. It says there are no dedicated mental health beds at Lithgow Hospital, making it hard to find help in a crisis. The community wants a local headspace established and a 24-hour drop-in centre.
We need more support for our people on the ground here in Lithgow, not in Bathurst, not in Penrith, not in the Blue Mountains. We need it here.
If we don't change the way in which we function as a community, deaths will continue to occur, because those deaths are a result of what's happening in the community, attitudes towards young people, as well as what's going on inside the minds of young people.
While they wait for help, these young men are trying to make a difference on their own. They're planning a music festival to be held in Lithgow next year. It's about more than just music. They're hoping to educate people and start an open conversation about mental health.
If someone can walk through the gate and get a referral and possibly save their life, save their own life, we've done the right thing.
Ruby Jones with that report. And if that story's raised concerns for you, we encourage you to call Lifeline on 131114 or Beyond Blue on 1300 2246.